Anyone who's seen the admittedly excellent Oscar-winning documentary film Searching for Sugar Man would be under the impression that Sisto Rodriguez was a singer-songwriter from Detroit who was discovered in a smoky bar, made a couple of artistically excellent but commercially disastrous albums, then disappeared off the face of the earth until it became apparent that he'd been huge in South Africa all along, where he eventually made his triumphant concert debut decades later. And to be fair, Searching for Sugar Man was a story told from a South African perspective, but it's far from the whole truth. In 1976, thousands of unsold copies of Rodriguez's 1970 debut album, Cold Fact, were discovered in a New York warehouse, and some of those eventually made their way to Australia. And once a Sydney radio DJ named Holger Brockman began to play the tracks from the album on air, the record sold out within weeks. As a result, an entire new record label called Blue Goose was created in Australia just to release Rodriguez albums. Cold Fact went on to peak at number 23 on the Aussie album charts, staying there for over a year, which led to a tour of Australia and New Zealand in 1979, with the resultant live album, appropriately entitled Alive, being recorded. Rodriguez toured Oz again in 1981, which included him playing the 5-day Tanalawn Music Festival, which at around 28,000 people was the biggest crowd that he ever played in front of, and a career highlight. And years later, with the subsequent re-interest in his music after the documentary film, Cold Fact re-entered the Aussie charts, this time peaking at number 11. The follow-up album, Coming From Reality, hit 25, as well as the Searching for Sugar Man soundtrack, making it 3 albums in the charts simultaneously. More tours followed, and a second live album, Rodriguez Rocks, live in Australia, was released in 2016. So while the South Africans were searching for Sugar Man, not knowing if he was even alive or dead, Aussies had long embraced the man and had been honoured with his company on a couple of occasions. Sadly, Sisto Rodriguez did permanently leave us in 2023, aged 81.